Hello, family. I want to ask you a question today. Does God answer all of your prayers? Think about it. God hears all of your prayers. In Psalm 139, 4 and 1, and John 5, 14 and 15, and 1 Peter 3 and 12, those are the scriptures. He answers all your prayers, but we do not always receive what we ask for. When we ask God for something, the response will be yes or no or wait. John Scott wrote that God will answer no if the things we ask for are either not good in themselves or not good for us or for others, directly or indirectly, immediately or ultimately. We don't always get to know the reason why the answer is no. We need to remember that God sees things from an eternal perspective, and that there are some things we may never understand in this life. What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? David sets us a great example. As for me, I shall be fully satisfied when I wake to find myself beholding your form and having sweet communion with you. That's in verse 15. Start each day seeking God's presence and finding satisfaction in Him. This is the heart of what prayer is all about. It is not just about asking for things. It is about seeking God's face and enjoying sweet communion with Him. Rick Warren writes, when the request is not right, God says no, N-O. When the timing is not right, God says slow, S-L-O-W. When you are not right, and myself, when I am not right, God says grow, G-R-O-W. But when the request is right, and the timing is right, and you are right, God says go, G-O. True greatness does not come from lording it over others or from what the world regards as success, wealth, position, fame, or having a successful ministry. Rather, Jesus says that true greatness comes from becoming a servant, following His example and choosing to serve and not be served. This is an example of where the disciples were wrong and God said grow, G-R-O-W. I think I have learned more in my own life from the times when my prayers have not seemed to be answered than from the times when they have been answered with a yes, Y-E-S. Certainly, the disciples must have learned a huge amount from their unanswered prayers. Lord, thank you for the lessons that we learn from unanswered prayers. Thank you that you show us true greatness. Help me to devote my life to your service and the service of others, to be a true servant. Job went through a lot, and some people wrongly believe, as Job's so-called friends did, that our suffering in this life is always caused by our own sins. or even by sin in a former life. So, if people are born in poverty or with some genetic disorder, it must be their fault? I don't think so. This blame must be a terrible addition, unnecessarily suffering. When your friends are suffering, avoid being a miserable comforter. You hear me? A miserable comforter. Rather, as Job suggests, encourage, comfort, and strengthen. Then soothe their suffering. One thing you can always do is to intercede. Pray on their behalf for them. Job said, "My intercessory is my friend, as my eyes pour out tears to God." On behalf of a human being, he pleads with God as one plead for a friend. We are not told who the intercessory was, but whoever it was, he was a real friend of Job because he was pleading to God for him. The prayers of the intercessory may not seem to have been answered immediately, but they were eventually when God restored Job's fortune. His answer to Job's intercessory and to Job was wait, W-A-I-T. Later, it was Job's intercession for others that was the immediate cause of his restoration. Isn't that something to think about? Rather than to sit around and think about what our own needs are, we need to think about the needs of others, to be caring about others, when you see a need, to pray for that person. You know how sometimes you can be out and you're on the road driving, you come up on a car wreck. Do you take a moment and pray for the people in that wreck? To pray for the people who are assisting in that wreck? To pray for the police officer who are there to assist in the wreck, the essential workers who are there? We need to pray for them all. When you come upon a situation like that, when you see a wreck, it can be just a fender bender, but thank God for blessing them and bringing them through. And that's something to remember, because people don't think about that. When you're riding and you come by a situation, you may see a house burning. You need to pray for that family. Always be other-centered. O-T-H-E-R-S. Others-centered. Don't think only of yourself, what you can get, how you can look, how you can grow, how you can prosper, how you can get everything that you want, but not think of others. We were put here to be servants, to be servant-minded, to think of the needs of others, to be thankful for what God has blessed you with. During the month of November, a lot of people put on Facebook and other social medias what they're thankful for the whole month of November. And it's Thanksgiving, and we should be thankful. But November is not the only month you need to be thankful. You need to put up your thankful quotes every day. You need to seek God's face and guidance every day. Don't be thankful just in the month of November. There is December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. There are other months. So you need to be other-centered. If you see a need, if you can't help someone, if the need is with money, you don't have money to give, you don't have food to give, You don't have a roof to put over someone's head to give, but you can give a prayer. You can give a prayer from your heart, telling others, telling God about others. Stand in the gap for others. Be other-centered and not just yourself. I love you, but God loves you more. Be blessed and highly favored. Bye-bye.
Getting ready for my miracle. Getting ready for greatness. Getting ready for my heart's desire. I'm growing into a flower and glamorous. Getting ready for my miracle. Getting ready for greatness. Getting ready for my heart's desire. I'm growing into a flower and glamorous. Getting ready for my miracle. Getting ready for greatness. Getting ready for my heart's desire. I'm growing into a flower